Out here doing a little rail fanning today. I think it might be a good opportunity to tell you one of my stories. The title of my story today is My First Real Gun. This is a story of my first real gun. It begins when I was a small boy in a small South Georgia town called McCray. It's burned into my 64-year-old memory, so today I thought I would share it. In those days it was considered quite proper and almost a necessary part of a boy's education on his way to manhood to arm him with a gun in order to embed him with a love of guns, the art of hunting and self-defense. So as soon as a boy was able to walk, someone bought him a toy six-shooter in a box filled with little explosive caps, giving him free rein to run around the neighborhood pretending to shoot everyone and everything in sight. I'm so familiar with the smell produced by rolled caps that now, at the age of 64 years, I would still instantly recognize the smell they produced by the exploding and smoking up the area. I might add, this was before television came along and influenced a boy's mind even more with shoot-'em-up western cowboy shows. My parents were divorced, so my brothers and I lived at that time with our mother in a small, poverty-stricken sawmill community, probably because it was near my grandfather's home. He was a lumberman his whole life and contributed greatly to my current love of guns. I recall he always had a gun on him, and he was a crack shot. He could shoot the head off a snake from 50 feet away, and now I realize I was in awe of his shooting skills and what would these days be considered hillbilly ways. I guess today's terms, he would be called a redneck, so I suppose I come by my redneck ways naturally. In fact, I think a boy's entire personality for the rest of his life is instilled in him by the age of 11 or 12 years old. His education continues through his entire lifetime, but his personality pretty well formed as a child. But I digress, because this is the story of my first real gun. When I was around the age of 10, my father showed up one day, took me and my brother out shopping. That was something we had never done before, so I still remember it very well. He took us to a store and said, "What would you like?" My younger brother quickly settled on a set of pearl handle cap pistols and holsters, but I was smart enough to know I would not get a chance like this again any time soon. My eyes roamed the entire store, taking in all the sights quickly as possible. In less than a moment I looked at bicycles and a whole assortment of things, quickly analyzing my chances for a big score. But one item in my field of vision stood out, and I honed in on it. I was looking at the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. It seemed to beckon to me, pick me, so I did. What was this marvel that captured a boy's complete attention, you might ask? It was a real gun. I left the store that day the proud owner of a genuine Red Ryder lever-action BB gun. And make no mistake about it either, that was no toy. It was and is a real gun by every definition of the word, and I felt empowered by this gleaming blued metal gun with the wooden stock and the lever that seemed to fit my hand so perfectly. I literally strutted down the street that day, but I did have a rattle to my walk. I had all my pockets stuffed with packets of BBs. I could hardly stand to wait until I could get home and take it into the woods on my first hunting trip. My brother was shooting his cap pistols at every one we passed, but I hardly noticed because I was making plans for adventures into the wilderness with my Red Ryder BB gun.